I mean, sometimes you gotta just do it. I want to welcome you to my safe space. Welcome you to my self help podcast, where you will be provided with the tools and insights to help you become the best version of yourself. I am inviting you, like truly inviting you, to join me as I explore topics around personal growth, topics around mindfulness, productivity, and you'll also have the opportunity to hear from experts as well as individuals who have overcome their own challenges and obstacles in their own life. So, whether you're looking to build better habits, find inner peace, or achieve your goals, this podcast is here to support you on that journey. So, sit back, relax,
It's time for tea time.
and let's dive in.
My game is so tight and I got it like Kittle. The spot I'ma hit you. It's right up the middle. Your pockets I get.
Yeah.
Keep trying to pretend to act like I can hit you. These hollows is
Yeah.
in you. If not, it's an issue.
Hey, we
Ain't
on the
no
late
saving
show
my bills,
tonight.
I'm no stopping my whistles. Taking your life away, then I'm hitting the dash like hyphenate. I'm taking your wife away on a trip on the need one night to stay. Think of a price to pay to forget it, cause I get it right away. Just need me that vibe, ready got I just wanna get high. All I need is half an ounce.
Yo,
Sleeping
what's the word, fam? What's the word?
Smoking this exotic lake.
That shit they call it Zaza.
I'm with your bitch and that's my baby. That's why she call me Dada.
It's
We
time
on
for
the
tea
journey.
time.
So
We are on a journey.
come and ride with me on this odyssey.
Journey to soul. And I just thank you for being here with me.
Tea time.
Listen, family. Welcome
It's time
to
for
another
tea time.
episode of Tea Time Podcast. I am your host, Royal T. And family, today we are going to dive into something that I believe separates those who wish from those who win. You know, and that's just the power of small wins. You know. Before we get started, I want to just, give a huge shout out to all the supporters out there. Huge shout out to, everybody who's been rocking with me, attending weekly, consistently, following. I do appreciate you. Analytics never lie. Women lie, men lie. Numbers don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that kind of stand in today's time anymore with AI generation and all the stuff that you can do nowadays. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, so I do want to thank you for continuously rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? And helping us keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Helping us spread the message and motivation, nation, inspiration, elevation, meditation, all the Asians. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying. But family, today we're going to dive in, to small wins. You know what I mean? And it's just something that I really want you to think about, and how many times have you actually started something, really, really big and you felt motivated, at the beginning of doing it, but you soon found yourself burning out, because, the finish line just seemed too far. I know we all been down that path. We all have, started things, we've all made major strides in life to, our major accomplishments and big goals that we set out for ourselves. And we may not have always, achieved the biggest thing, you know what I mean? But did we really give gratitude along the way to the small things that we were doing? Did we really show appreciation to, the journey itself? You know what I'm saying? That's something to think about. How many times have you started something really, really big, something that you really, really, really felt motivated about? And at the beginning, you're like executing it. You know what I mean? You got a full head of steam. You pushing forward with it, and then the finish line seems very, very far away. You know what I mean? But that's what I want to talk about today. You know what I mean? The cold, hard truth behind the fact that you do not need a giant leap, you know what I mean, just to change your life. You know what I mean? You need small, intentional steps, you know what I mean, one win at a time, you know what I mean? And that's what builds momentum. You know what I mean? That's the word that I really want to focus on is momentum. uh, momentum it's different from motivation. You know what I mean? Motivation is a feeling. You know what I mean? It's something that comes, it's something that goes. You know what I mean? One minute you're feeling motivated to get up and tackle your dreams, chase everything that you want. You know what I mean? But then soon you start to say, I'm a little tired. I'm just not really feeling motivated today. It's something that comes and goes, whereas momentum is energy. And if you know anything about us here at the Time Podcast, we love to talk energy. Energy is everything. Energy is in everything that we do. Energy is the true form behind certain words that we use, positive forces, negative forces. Like, energy is everything, and momentum is energy. So once you really start to build it up, it's something that carries you. And today, that's just what we're gonna break down. How to create that momentum in your life.
It's time for tea time.
And that's when we roll into what's known as the story segment. Let's see. Okay. I'll take you to a story. So there was a woman that I once knew. And she told me that she wanted to completely change her life. She wanted to lose weight. She wanted to get healthier. She wanted to have more energy, but every time she thought about the big picture, the entire picture, the whole thing, that's the working out every day, that's changing her diet, that's giving up sugar, that's, drinking more water, it's just so much to think about, it starts to get overwhelming. Now take that and sit with that for a minute. How many times, when you wanted to do something, something big came into your mind, like you got discouraged from doing it just because you thought about how much work you were going to actually have to put into it. Just think about that. So she felt overwhelmed. So instead, she made a deal with herself. She told herself that, if she just start with, simply just walking, 10 minutes a day, that's it. That's where she's going to go. And at first, that 10 minutes didn't seem like it was much. But, over a week's time, it became 20 minutes. And, she started choosing better foods. And, then she added little light weights to the walk she was doing. And one day when she looked up, she had lost over 40 pounds. And she felt more confident in what she had been doing over the years. And, it really didn't, happen because of one massive leap. It was something that happened because of 100 small wins and momentum. All that stuff just kind of stacked together. And family, that's what I want to talk about. Sometimes you don't need to sprint. You just need to start. Most of the time, we're not even starting. We are complaining about what we're not doing, but we are not even starting. I know I may have told this story on here a million times, but it's a personal story. It's the story of me. And that's exactly where it was with me. I was, at a point in my life where, I ain't lying to you, family, I was walking sideways through the door. You know what I'm saying? I was able to put, me and the family in my jeans. You know what I'm saying? It was a time when that was me. And I just was like, you know what? I got to make a change. I went up a flight of stairs, and when I got up the top of that flight of stairs, it was only like 10 stairs, but when I got to the top of them stairs, I was so winded, and I was like, you know what? I got children. You feel me? I got children, and I got to be able to be there for my children. I got to be able to play football with my boys. You know what I'm saying? So it was time to make a change. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, cool. I may not have the workout plan. I may not have, the perfect diet and food. I may not have nothing, but the start of it is go to the gym. Like, I just want to go every single day and do something. The mindset was do something, because anything that you choose to do is better than what you were doing in the first place. You know what I mean? So once you start to do that, you start to realize, okay, me going to the gym every day, that little 30, going for 30 days, cool. All right, now I'm rolling into my second month, and that second month I'm finna go ahead and now I'm gonna start actually like going to the gym with purpose. Like, okay, this day gonna be for this day gonna be for that. You know what I mean? And before you know it, you got that momentum and it's carrying you. You look up and you are taking those steps closer to your dreams. You're taking those steps closer to your goals. You know what I mean? And that's where we have to really take a deep dive and look into why small wins build big momentum. You know what I mean? Small wins equal confidence boosters. You know, every small win tells your brain, I can do this. You know what I mean? With every small win comes a dose of belief. You know what I mean? Confidence. You know what I mean? Momentum. And this rewires the mindset. And instead of focusing on what you haven't done, you know what I mean, you start to focus more on what you have done. You see how that shift happens there? That's what momentum does. It changes, you know what I mean, your perspective of everything that's going on. You know what I mean? Now it was like, okay, I really need to. Now it's, you know, I'm really doing. You know, consistency starts to beat with intensity. You know what I mean? Big efforts really drain you quickly. So when you take those small steps, you know, it's really, you know, more steady. It helps, you know what I mean, to build a sustainable, you know what I mean, routine, if per se, you know what I mean? So if you choose to write one page a day, you know what I mean, with journaling, or, you know what I mean, or if you choose to, like I said, go to the gym just for that day, you know what I mean, just get there, it makes a big difference than trying to say, I'm going to meal prep, go to the gym, drink more water, not eat nothing sweet, cut out bread, like everything in one day. You know what I mean? Take it one step at a time. Instead of saying, I'm finna write the whole book, just work on a page. Just work on a paragraph. You know what I mean? Whatever that small win looks like for you, whatever those small steps look like for you, just take those little steps. Don't worry about the big picture. Enough small steps will get you to the big picture. You know what I mean? So then that's when you have to understand that momentum starts to become motivation over time. You know, motivation fades and momentum carries. So as you continue to have that momentum and you continue to have that positive energy behind you, then you start to go, okay, I got this. You know what I mean? And every day you feeling motivated because how good it feels to be taking those steps towards what you want to do. You know what I mean? How good it feels to see these little accomplishments that you're making along the way. You know what I mean? That's when motivation begins to become something greater because now you are motivated to do more versus motivated to get started. You know what I mean? You have started to build this routine for yourself. You started to create these habits in your life. The hardest part is starting. You know what I mean? But once you do, momentum really becomes just self-sustaining. You know what I mean? Long as you stay focused, long as you stay disciplined, momentum will carry you along the
It's
way.
time for tea time.
Celebrating wins builds gratitude as well. When you know, acknowledge progress, you create joy in the process, and not just the outcome. You know, the journey is the fun part. I learned that. You know, we it's so easy to use health. You know what I mean? Because it's like the foundation of everything. And once you really start to get involved in life and bettering yourself, you'll start to see just how important, you know, health and fitness and stuff becomes. But when you acknowledge the progress, you know what I mean, you create that joy in the process instead of just the outcome. And that's like when you look in the mirror and you're just hoping like, okay, within 1 week, you know what I mean, I'm gonna go from, you know what I mean, fat to fit. It's not gonna happen that way. But you have to enjoy that 5 pounds that you knock off. You have to enjoy that diet that you start to notice. You know what I mean? Oh my God, every morning I've been eating, you know what I mean, this consistency. Oh, I noticed I've been drinking a gallon of water every single day. Like, you have to start to acknowledge those little wins that you're doing. You know what I mean? That way when the big picture comes, then you can start to go, oh, wow. You know what I mean? This over time I wasn't even so focused on the big picture because I was enjoying the journey so much that the big picture doesn't even hold as much. It doesn't hold that. It doesn't give you that same satisfaction that you were looking for in the end. Yes, you're happy that you got there, but the fact that you hit so many different goals along the way, it starts to just give you a little bit more appreciation for what you're doing. So, family, we got to understand momentum is like, it's like pushing a car. It feels impossible at first, but, once you get it rolling, even a little push to keep it moving forward. You start pushing it and you like, okay, this take a lot of leg power, but once you get it rolling, now you just kind of land on the car and continuing to walk and the car just rolling on its own. So like you have to think about it in that way. Just get started. Just do something. Just make little steps. Just move forward. And before you know it, you will be exactly where you want to go. So practical steps that you can look into when you are trying to build that momentum and you are looking to celebrate those small wins. You got to pick one area to focus on. You can't try to win everywhere at once. Choose one area, whether it's health, whether it's finances, whether it's faith, whether it's relationships, whether it's personal growth. You have to choose one area. Trying to draw out one big map and then starting everything at one time is like setting yourself up for failure. It's overwhelming. It becomes very overwhelming. And that's when I say once you really start to get involved in this, you will start to understand, how much of a priority health and fitness plays, in this entire thing. Health, fitness, faith, they all play a huge role, but just being able to create that mental clarity, is what really becomes like that foundation for you to, have that discipline and create that consistency and be able to build that momentum. So, in the end, just get started, pick one area to focus on, whatever is most important to you, and then start from there. And then you got to begin to break it down. An example of that can be, instead of I need, to save up $5,000, just say, what, I'm going to start with just saving $20 a week. Instead of saying I'm going to, go work on upper body on Monday and then lower body on Tuesday, just get to the gym and just do something. Anything you're doing is better than nothing. Instead of, okay, I'm going to stop eating sweets. I'm going to stop eating bread. I'm going to stop drinking sodas. Just stop drinking sodas. Just one thing at a time. Instead of I need to be fit, start with 10 push-ups a day. Little things. Once you start to see that you're building the consistency and the habit of doing that, celebrate that win. Move up to 20. Celebrate that win. Now stop eating bread. Celebrate that win. Then do something else. You know what I mean? You have to stack the habits. Attach a new small win to something you already do daily. For an example, you can pay attention to while you're brushing your teeth and say an affirmation, and then after morning coffee, write a gratitude note. It's just the little things. Just start to add stuff to what you're already doing. One thing that I like to use is for my water intake. Every time I come encounter with it, drink some. Every time I think about it, drink some. Whenever somebody offers me water, take some. So, stack little habits to what you're already doing daily, because how many times do you walk in a room and somebody say, hey, do you need some water? You walk in the store, hey, do you want some water? Like, just take it. It's you starting to build habits with things that's already happening within your life. And then, like I said, celebrate the progress. Don't wait for big milestones. Celebrate every small step. Every win counts. Use everything to your advantage to help you get ahead. Don't wait for the big thing. Don't sit back and dim your light waiting for the big thing to unfold. Step out, get started, and be you. Shine.
It's
You got
time
this.
for tea time.
Momentum. As we roll into our affirmation section, just a few, that I use or have used, for my own personal, reasoning, whether it's within therapy, whether it's within just me and my own personal growth. I just want to share those with you guys like I always do, because I love my family. I appreciate you. So, step into my world and just kind of be a part of, what I do, what I talk about, and, what I inspire to be, So, one is each small win is proof of my progress. And then we have momentum carries me further than motivation. I celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. I am consistent. I am capable. I am growing. Big change lives inside my daily choices. And also, if you look down below, I will include a few journal prompts. If you are just looking for a way to get started, and you just kind of like, T, help me out. Don't just talk about it, be about it, bro. Give me a dose of something. You got to let me know how to get started. Get started with a journal prompt. Write a paragraph, start like that. Maybe journaling once a week versus trying to do it every day. Whatever works for you, but get started. And one of those can be, where in my life have I been waiting for a big breakthrough instead of celebrating small wins? Where in my life have I been waiting for a big breakthrough instead of celebrating small wins? Next, we have, what's one small win I've achieved recently that I overlooked? What's one small win I've achieved recently that I overlooked? And then last, we will have, how does it feel when I recognize and celebrate progress, even in small steps? How do I feel when I recognize and celebrate progress, even in small steps? And then a few goals that I can set out for you for the week. Just choose one. Drink an extra glass of water or journal for 5 minutes. Pray before bed. Send a positive text. If you are looking to create some kind of momentum in your life, those can be one of your starting points. Drink an extra glass of water. Every time you have a glass of water, drink an extra glass. Take 5 minutes a day to journal. Pray before going to bed. That's a nice one. That may be one that I may start incorporating. I'll do this with you. If you choose to do this with me, comment down below and let me know, which small win will you commit to today? We're not going to overwhelm ourselves. Which small win are you going to commit to today? Will it be drinking an extra glass of water? Will it be journaling for 5 minutes? Will it be praying before bed? Or sending a positive text message to someone? Which one will you commit to? Comment down below and let me know.
It's time for tea time.
I want to thank you for sitting in. This episode is for anybody out there looking to build momentum in their life. This episode is for anybody looking to feel motivated, looking to create, a positive form of energy in their life that can lead them towards their goals and accomplishments. This episode is for you. I want to thank you. Family, remember, big victories are built from small wins. And don't despite the small beginnings. Don't downplay your progress. Every step forward matters. Your job isn't to leap every day. Your job is to move. to create momentum with your small intentional actions. So this week, take time to celebrate your small wins. Stack them, build on them, because one day you'll look back and realize those small wins built the life that you were dreaming of. Look at this as your moment. Your moment to stop waiting for perfect conditions and start building momentum today. You got to keep going, family.
It's time for tea time.
You are closer than you think. And that's just something that I got to tell myself daily. You are closer than you think. I want to thank you. You know, when we take it out, we got to take it out the way we came in. My boy Indigo B, Journey to Soul. I think I'm going to rock with this one, y'all. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I think this one, because we on the Journey to Soul. I want to thank you for tuning into the Tea Time Podcast.
Tea time.
I hope you found today's episode helpful and insightful. Remember, self-improvement is a journey. It's not a destination. Take what you've learned today and apply it to your life. Remember to be kind to yourself. Stay focused on your goals and take action towards the life that you want. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast as well as like, rate, and comment on this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the Tea Time YouTube channel. We keep the link in the bio. We keep the link in the description. All you got to do is scroll down and click it. And that'll ensure that you stay up to date and you never miss an episode. And we've been dropping exclusive. Make sure you check out the latest Artists Unplugged. You know, that's a new segment that we just brought to the Tea Time Podcast. You know, we had a special guest, Dizzy Like RZA, tune in with us. So, man, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You don't want to miss any of the exclusives. And please leave a review. Let us know, you know, how we can reach out, how we can expand, how we can, you know, touch more people. You know what I mean? Also to be a guest. If you got a story to tell, you got a unique experience you want to share, go ahead and email us at teatimecast@gmail.com. We will love to hear from you. And be sure to visit the website www.teatimecast.com to stay up to date with all the exclusive, all the latest, all the greatest. You know, we provide community resources. We getting involved, you know, within the community. So visit the website, man. Also gonna be offering that merch. Gonna have that merchandise for you.
It's time for tea time.
And last but not least, follow the link provided in the description to support the Tea Time Podcast. All proceeds go toward ongoing development of our production and continuing to inspire, bringing awareness to mental health worldwide. Always remember peace, family. Positive energy always creates elevation. Until next time, keep growing, keep thriving, keep striving, and rising from yours truly.
It's time for tea time.
Out.
Smoking this exotic lately. That shit they callin' Zaza. I'm with your bitch and that's my baby. That's my baby.